wrote a story a few years ago. He's a guy from Idaho. And I had a friend that memorized it, and then he got in a high position in the church, and he told me he couldn't give it anymore and wanted me to memorize it. So anyway, here we go. You know, I ain't too much for shopping. In fact, I seldom go to town, except for when shipping time comes, I ain't easily found. But the day came that I had to go, so I left the kids home with Ma. But before I left, she asked me, "Would you just pick me up a bra?" Well, without thinking, I said, "Sure, how hard can that job be?" I bent on down and kissed her and said, "I'll be home by 3. Well, I'd done the things I needed to, then started to regret ever offering to buy that thing. That guy's working up a sweat. Well, I crossed the road to that woman's store with my hat down over my eyes, and I wasn't taking no chances on getting recognized. But then I walked right up to that sales clerk, and I didn't hem or haw. I told that lady right straight out, "Ma'am, I'm here to buy a bra." Well, behind me I heard some snickering, so I turned around to see about 15 women in the store, and they was all gawking at me. "Well, what kind would you be needing?" Well, I just scratched my head. I'd only seen one kind before. I thought bras was bras, I said. Well, she gave me a disgusted look, said, "Sir, that's where you're wrong. Follow me," I heard her saying like a dog I tagged along. Well, she took me down this alleyway where bras was on display. I thought my jaw had hit the floor when I saw that lingerie. They had different styles that I'd not seen before, and I figured I'd go crazy before I left that woman's store. They had bras that you can wear for 18 hours. And bras that cross your heart. And bras that lift and separate, and that was just a start. They had bras that make you feel like you ain't wearing one at all. And bras that you can train in when you start off when you're small. Well, I finally made my mind up, and I picked a black and lacy one, and I told the lady bag that up and figured I was done. Well, what size would you be needing? Oh, I didn't hesitate. I knew them measurements by heart. I said 6 7/8. 6 7/8, she said, "That surely isn't right." "Oh, yes, ma'am, I'm positive. I just measured them last night." You see, I thought she'd go into shock. Must have took her by surprise when she found that my wife's bust was the same as my hat size. You see, that's what I use to measure with. I figured it was fair, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, ma'am, but this brought another stare. Well, behind me, a crowd had gathered, and they was all cracking up when the lady asked to use my hat to measure for the cup. Well, once she had it figured, I gave the gal her pay, and I turned around to leave the store, and I tipped my hat and said good day. Well, my wife had heard that whole dang story before I'd made it home. She'd talked to 15 women who'd called her on the phone. Well, she was still laughing, but by then I didn't care, because she don't ask and I don't shop for no more women's underwear.